Welcome to episode 2 of Mental Debrief, where we read AITAH on Reddit. We nickname it Am I the Meanie so we don't get demonetized on YouTube. Am I the meanie for putting a bedtime pause on Wi-Fi because my girlfriend's 28-year-old brother has spent nearly a decade rotting in our house playing video games? Around 8 years ago, my girlfriend's younger brother moved back into our house with his wife after leaving the Marines. After high school, he enlisted and spent a few years mostly doing support and base-related work. Then got out. His plan was to use his GI Bill, pursue a real education, and figure out a long-term career path while staying with us temporarily. We fully supported them. No rent, free housing, utilities, internet, food, and we constantly cooked meals for them. We also helped with job opportunities, resources, and encouragement. The problem is that temporarily slowly became years. He never committed to school, never held a serious job, and slowly spent almost all of his time gaming. He stays up until sunrise and wakes up around 3 p.m. and avoids people whenever guests come over. Meanwhile, his wife worked full-time as a cashier supporting both of them. Eventually, she cheated and left him, saying she no longer felt anything for somebody who had lost all ambition and passion for life. Cheating is wrong, but I understand how resentment could build after years of carrying someone. You know what? Good for her. I am a gamer, but you shouldn't spend all your time gaming. I don't. I upload one video that's about an hour long every day. And if you count the time to edit that, which I literally just slap an intro and outro because I want the raw experience. I don't like editing. Also because it's just hard. And I haven't fully learned how to do it yet. I'm slowly trying. I don't think I'm ever going to put full-on effects into my gaming. Maybe slowly making my own intros and outros. But I think that you should try to do this all yourself. But back to the story. After the divorce, he admitted he had wasted years of his life and promised he wanted to change. We supported him through that too. Okay, second chances are important. Okay, let's read the rest of the story before I get too ahead of myself. Then my girlfriend's parents moved back into the property to emotionally support him as well. The house was originally bought by them years ago before being transferred into our name. So technically it's ours now, but there's still family attachment involved. Fast forward to now and nothing has changed. He's 28 and still spends nearly all day in his room gaming. I've brought this issue up to my girlfriend multiple times over the years. Almost every time she's either gets angry at me for bringing it up or says he's working on a study program or figuring things out. But those plans never actually happened. Her parents also admitted they're tired of talking to him because nothing changes. At this point, I honestly feel like I'm stuck in an echo chamber where everybody recognizes the problem, but nobody wants to confront it anymore. 2 weeks ago, I quietly set a Wi-Fi bedtime pause from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Since me and my girlfriend pay basically all the utilities, including internet, honestly, I thought it would affect nobody except him because everybody else sleeps like a normal adult. My girlfriend got upset because I did it without telling her. She said she couldn't sleep knowing that there was tension in the house because of Wi-Fi pause. She also explained that growing up, her grandparents controlled things in the house in ways that made her feel like she had no freedom, and the Wi-Fi situation brought back bad memories. I told her that I understood and agreed what her grandparents did was unfair. But I also told her that she isn't a child anymore. Neither is her brother. This isn't parents punishing teenagers. This is a 28-year-old grown man spending nearly a decade avoiding adulthood while everybody around him is financially cushions and the consequences. I finally told her that something that came from years of frustration, somehow everybody can sleep peacefully while watching her brother waste his life isolated in a bedroom gaming all night. But pausing the internet for 6 hours suddenly becomes a unbearable problem. She thinks I'm being cruel. Somebody who may be depressed. I think everybody has spent years enabling self-destruction because nobody wants to be the bad guy. Am I the meanie? No, I don't think you are. Because like I said earlier, it's just very weird to be 28 and still spending all night gaming. I understand if you still like to do that. I don't mind that he is spending all night gaming. That's his life. But the fact is that he is living in another person's house, rent-free, doesn't have to pay any bills, and doesn't even have a job to support him. And it should have been a wake-up call when your wife tells you that she is leaving you because of that problem. But there's an update. Let's read it real quick. Hey everybody, thank you for the comments. I honestly never expected this post to blow up the way it did. I've been trying to read through as many comments as possible and really reflected on the situation instead of reacting emotionally. A lot of people had questions regarding the ownership of the house. And I do admit it wasn't very clear about certain details. Part of that was intentional because I did want to maintain some anonymity for myself and the people involved in the case. The post gained too much attention, which it obviously did. I hope you guys can understand that. After reading through as many of your perspectives, I sat down with my girlfriend last night and we had a very serious conversation about the future and expectations moving forward. I explained to her that I cannot continue living in a situation where one person refuses to take accountability while everybody else is expected to carry the burden. For clarification, the issue is mainly regarding her brother. A lot of the frustration comes from the fact there has been little to no innovative from him, despite everybody around him trying to help. I understand people go through difficult periods in life, and I truly try to be patient and supportive. But at some point, efforts has to come from the individual too. I told my girlfriend that if nothing changes, then we will need to separate living arrangements and I will move out. As difficult as that conversation was, I felt it was necessary because the situation cannot continue indefinitely without structure, accountability, and actual effort being made. The plan moving forward was to establish real deadlines and measurable steps for our brother to start addressing the situation. Instead of continue to avoid it, as many commenters pointed out, VA resources will be the first thing we push him towards pursuing immediately. After that, we discussed career workshops, employment assistance programs, and other resources that could help get him back on his feet and build some long-term stability. I also made it clear that I am willing to support someone who is actively trying to improve their situation, but I cannot continue enabling somebody who refuses to help themselves. I care deeply about my girlfriend and her family. which is why I stepped up and stayed patient for as long as I did. But I've also realized I need to protect my own future, finances, and mental well-being too. For now, I am focusing less on promises and more on actions. I genuinely appreciate everyone who offered advice, criticism, and even though truths. A lot of your comments gave me perspectives, and I honestly had not fully considered before. Alright, so he has come to a thing, understanding that sometimes people are different. And yeah, I get it. So some of the comments are very long, but since this podcast is already at 10 minutes, we're only going to read a few of them. Okay, this one from Carrie I have a question for your girlfriend. Kind of close to yours, but could have been asked before the Wi-Fi curfew. Why is she able to sleep when there's tension coming from you, but she draws a line at tension from her brother? She is showing you where her priorities are, and sadly, you don't make the list. And she isn't doing him any favors either. Making it uncomfortable for him to do nothing is not helping. And if it really is a mental health issue, then he needs professional help, not a house full of enablers. Okay, and then gonna read some 3 replies to that comment. Shirley Savior 999 says, I've noted this really happens all the time. Some people in relationship prioritize everything aside from their partner, then try and act the victim when said partner becomes extremely upset. I don't know, it just seems like an extremely predictable turn of events. See, I kind of get it. Because family is family. Even though that lover sometimes is also a part of your family. But yeah, I do kind of see the situation that's going on. Now, by Lena7 says, I kind of get it when it happens with family because people's entire identities are shaped by the people they grow up around. Siblings, parents, those you were with since childhood are hard for. A lot of people to challenge and disappoint. It's not right, but no one should have to put up with it. And it should be addressed in therapy so they can stand up for their families when it's necessary. But I think that's why it happens some of the time. Okay, and by Towny Boy too says, yeah, the Wi-Fi situation is not withstanding. There is tension in the house. Her husband is tense. It is tense. Yeah, that's really practically what I was saying. Yeah, everything here is pretty moanable. Like, it makes sense why it happened. But I think I'm going to end it here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Mental Debrief, Episode 2. AITAH for putting a bedtime pause on the Wi-Fi because my girlfriend's 28-year-old brother has spent nearly a decade rotting in our house playing video games. Tell all your friends. Bye.